Welcome to Digimon.
Hello and welcome to Digimon, and welcome to the first deck profile we've had in ages that isn't me. We have well, before we get into that, please make sure to like, subscribe and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on any of the latest content. Would really appreciate it. We, at the time of filming, are 2 subscribers away from 400 subscribers, so that would be really helpful. Anyways, we are looking at Imperialdramon today, and I do not own Imperialdramon. So, joining us on the channel once again is Charles. Charles, say hello.
Hello.
So Charles recently went undefeated at the Evo Cup we went to at Geek Retreat on Stevenage. His only non-win was against me. We drew in the sweatiest game that ever sweated a little while ago. And we're going to be taking us through the deck profile now. Yeah, let's see how we go. And Charles, if you take us away.
Right. So, I'll go through my level 3s. It's pretty standard. You play the cards that get you more cards, so that you can win. Digimon searches. This one lets you Digivolve for less. This one searches, and this one searches. This one looks for Davis, this one looks for Ken. The Tamer you want to find has both Davis and Ken in the name. So it's easy. This is probably the most important inheritable on any of these guys. The end of turn made DNA. It is the life and blood of this deck. If you can't DNA, you're going to lose.
Yeah, this, especially, that end of turn is so important.
Yeah.
It's literally like, you can't do half of your stuff without that inheritable.
No. So the Digivolve for less also helps. Go up into your XVmon for 1, then gain back that memory when you DNA. So it's basically like a free Digivolve. This is just more search. That's why you only play a few of them. Like I said, these 2 here, these are your key cards. You want to see these guys in your opening, and you just want to keep finding them. Doesn't matter. A lot of the time, you'll play a Vmon, you'll search, you won't find anything, you'll add the Vmon, you'll do it again, find the Vmon, search again, find the Wormmon, search again. Till you find all your pieces. This deck is all about finding your pieces. Level 4s. We have 3 Stingmon. I should probably go over ratios at some point. 2 of the starter deck Vmon. Then Paildramon. So Paildramon's important because it can take the place of any of your level 4s for your DNA. And it goes off Vmon for 2, so it's still a fairly cheap Digivolution. And at a push, you can Digivolve it on top of your Wormmon if you need to. But Paildramon will be an X-Vmon if you need it, or it can be a Stingmon if you need it.
The 2 colour really helps out, doesn't it?
It really helps. Also, Armor Purge is good if you want to get in a cheeky swing.
Yeah,
So,
pseudo jamming.
It's like, I died. It's alright. Vmon's back, and then you can Digivolve up again if you need to. And then, obviously, 4 of the X-Vmon. These 2 here, I'm only playing 3 of the Stingmon, but 4 of the X-Vmon because of the Paildramons and the Stingmons. You don't want to overcrowd your level 4s. They are very important, but if you play too many, it can get a bit dodgy sometimes. So, both of these, when you DNA, gain back a memory. So, a lot of the time, you're going to DNA and gain memory, which is kind of busted. This Stingmon comes out for less if you have a blue Digimon in play, and like I said, Paildramon is kind of like a wild card. It can be any of these cards that you need it to be.
Interesting you're not playing any of the BT17 stuff, actually. I've just noticed. Any particular reason for that?
Because it's bad.
No, okay, well, I'll do it.
I think the only thing you could play from BT16 would probably be the Vmon, that when you Digivolve another Digimon, or a Digimon with 3, you gain a memory, and it has the 2k boost. Oh, I didn't go over my egg.
Oh. Eggs.
Eggs.
We're doing eggs now.
Doing eggs now. Just because I was like, oh yeah, some people play the Demi V that gives you 1k DP. I prefer to go with the Demi V that gets me more draw. Drawing more cards is good. The more cards you have in your hand, the better your options are, and the more you'll win. So I'll put my Demi Vs there. Only play 4. If you wanted to, you could chuck a 1k in there. I think the only matchup where the DP matters is probably if you're playing against like Magna X or something. And at that point, you're probably going to lose anyway if they set up a big blocker that's immune to effects.
They're a pretty good counter to you, which is ironic, assuming it's like it's Imperialdramon's kind of brother deck, sister deck, if you want, however you want to terminology.
Big blockers that are immune to effects kind of just kill us, and there's not really much you can do unless you swarm the board with Wormmons and Vmons. Level 5s. You have to play at 4. because it's the best card in the deck. Dragon Mode and Fighter Mode are cool. Paildramon is the winning card.
Not even kidding. Like, I mean, that card changes the deck entirely the moment it comes out.
Partition is the best thing that ever happened to this deck. It's kind of gross and busted, because then you partition out, usually into the XVmon and the Stingmon, that give you memory. Then you just DNA them again, and get more memory, and then can do even more absurd things. It's these two where you can change up the ratios. The BT12 one strips sources, which is actually really helpful sometimes, and then it can stop things from attacking. This Paildramon just gets you extra swings. So it can also bounce a level 6k DP or less. But these ones are the ones you can mess around with. You could have 3 of this, you could have 3 of this, you could do 2 of this and 1 of this. You can play with them in any way you want. But
yeah, these are your not nice to haves, whereas that's your must have.
You have if you are playing Imperial and you do not have 4 of these, you should get 4 of these. Then level 6s. We have 3 dragons, 2 fighter ace, and then the one of fighter mode from BT12. Dragon mode, he's just pretty cool. He's kind of like a trap card. If you've ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, he kind of sits on the board and says, "Hey, if you're going to do anything, then I'm just going to go into this guy for nothing, and then bounce your dude."
It's the threat of that as well can be enough to just stall things out.
Some people forget what he does. He also suspends a dude and then says they can't be suspended. But a lot of the time, what you're doing is you leave him on board, and he sits there and is just like "Hey, if you try and play the game, I'm going to say no and bounce your stuff." But you can go into either fighter mode, any of them. It doesn't matter.
But it has to be specifically fighter mode.
It's specifically fighter mode. You can't go into paladin mode. Other fighter modes you can go to any of these fighter modes, but you can't go into paladin. It's specifically into fighter mode. Yeah. You also have to have a tamer on board, but we'll get to the tamers. And if you don't have a tamer on board, something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, fair.
So we are moving on to our level 7s. So this is our new big card, the best boy. Paladin mode, ace. He is really, really good.
Yep.
He comes out, trashes all of their sources, and then returns all cards to the bottom of the deck. I played against 7 Demon Lords twice. This card won me the game both times, because when they've got their Agudamon in trash, you can just go, put it at the bottom of the deck. Now you have no Agudamons, the deck doesn't do anything. And then you just win. Also, I feel like 7 Demon Lords is not a good matchup into Paildramon, because they pop your thing, and then you just DNA back, and then you just keep getting free swings in.
Basically anything that does deletion stuff rather than like... specifically the best thing to counter that Paildramon is like Digivolve.
Yeah, which they do have access to with the Beelzemon, but a lot of the time you will swing into security, you've done your 2 checks with the Paildramon, who, does 2 checks, and then he'll hit into like, I don't know, 7th Lightning, or Rival's Barrage, and then he'll explode, and you'll be like, "Oh no, my Digimon's dead.
Someone call an ambulance." Not for me.
I'll just make a new Paildramon and swing 2 more times. Oh, you've died. It's kind of gross. But yeah, Paladin mode, it's situational. It's not going to be good against every deck. It can just win you the game if they've gone wide by bouncing a lot of things back.
Well, yeah, genuinely. I mean, I last week in the Tyrannomon video, which will have come out today on the day of recording, I actually managed off camera, unfortunately, to get game with this against a Myotismon player. Yeah. Because it's just, you go against a wide board, if you've managed to suspend everything, you just swing, because you can just keep bottom decking stuff. Yeah. It's really gross.
Yeah, and a lot of the time you will be suspending entire boards with either Paildramon comes out, he suspends things, this fighter mode will suspend things. And
if you're late enough in the game, you can absolutely combo with both of those in the same turn.
So we will put those over there. Now, this is the life... So Paildramon is important, but these 2 here are probably the most important things in the deck. They let you play a Vmon or a Wormmon for nothing at the start of your turn, which just gives you more search, an extra body to then Digivolve on top of, and then if you do Digivolve, you can suspend it to gain a memory. And if you're DNA Digivolving, you just trash 3 Digivolution cards from under your opponent's Digimon. It's kind of nutty.
Yeah.
If you've got multiples of these out, they all trigger. You play a Vmon, play a Wormmon, play another Vmon, then you DNA, you suspend them all and gain all the memory. It's not fair.
Yeah.
but it's great fun.
Honestly, that Tamer is potentially a future banlist contender. I'll be honest, especially because blue barely got any hits in the last ban list.
Blue is the best colour.
Yeah, without shadow of a doubt.
Blue is best.
Yeah,
and obviously, what can happen sometimes is you'll play a Vmon to do some searching. You won't have anything to Digivolve on top of it, but then at the end of your opponent's turn, if they haven't dealt with that Vmon, it then comes back to your hand, and then you can just play it again to do more searching. One a Davis Memory Tamer. Play him. He's Memory Tamer. Adds a green, a blue. One of the first Memory Tamers. Still probably one of the best, if not the best Memory Tamer.
I mean, all the early Memory Tamers have got staying power still.
Yeah.
Like, Ty's still good, Mimi's still good, TK's still good, Davis still good.
But yeah, so turn 1, you could Digivolve out, have a Vmon, play out your Davis, search, and then you've just set up, you've got a Tamer on board, you're going to start with 3 memory, you can just pop off from there usually. Right, so this is weird.
Okay.
So Davis and Ken, this is the BT17 one, it's also a Memory Tamer. I have one of them. It never came up in any of my matches. It's all turns when one of my level 5 or higher free trait with Digimon would be deleted in battle. By suspending this Tamer, I can put something out from underneath.
So it's like
pseudo partition. So what you could do,
cool,
in theory, is have your Paildramon, he swings, somehow he's deleted in battle, with jamming, usually. So I don't know how he's get deleted in battle. It is all turns, so if someone swings into him to try and get rid of him, you can then play out a Digimon. So you wouldn't get your partition because you've been deleted in battle, but you would still get out a Digimon. And then also at the end of turn, one of my free trait Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon. Never comes up, haven't seen it, but I'm going to keep using it just to see. I didn't really get a chance to use it, but I'm going to keep it in there and hope maybe one day Davis and Ken will do something.
That's the thing with one-ofs. They don't always come up, but when they do, they mean something.
Yeah. It's also just an extra Tamer.
Yeah,
and you need Tamers for a few of your
extra
effects.
Blue and green source as well.
Yes.
For this.
Yes, yeah, to be fair. So this is such a good card.
Yeah.
It's just, a lot of the time, well, what I was doing is I would have my Paildramon would be on the board. He would have done his swing, unsuspend, swing. So he's sitting there, unsuspended like that. You probably only have a few memory left because you've done all your things. Play return. Digivolve this level 5 or higher Digimon into a free trait Digimon in my hand with the cost reduced by 4. So usually you would be going into your Dragon mode. So you go up. So instead of it costing you 3 to Digivolve into your Dragon mode, it costs you 2. And then you can usually unsuspend something like a Tamer just to get into suspend, and then you've set up. So Dragon mode is if they play a Digimon by effect or when they Digivolve by effect, you just go into fighter mode. But then also, if they try and pop it with an effect, this would then trigger and let you Digivolve up anyway. So you're protected from lots of things. You've also still got your partition, so if they do manage to pop it somehow, you can then just play out your things. It takes a lot of effort with this on board to try and get rid of this.
The moment these two are out together, especially, the game changes.
Yeah.
Completely. Because all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need to worry about killing this because otherwise I've got a bigger problem coming my way.
Yeah.
You know.
It is worth noting it is only deletion effect, so if you bounce him, I would obviously still get my partition.
It's deleted specifically by battle or effect.
So if it's deleted by other than my own effect.
Yeah.
So if they bounce it, they Digivolve it, if they do anything like that, it won't trigger, but it's still that it makes people play awkwardly because people are like, right, so I can't do this and I can't do this, and if I try and pop this, he's just going to Digivolve up and then stop the deletion and then trigger all of his when Digivolving effects to potentially wipe my board. It's fun.
It's grim.
It's so fun.
I mean, it does the same job as Miraculous Mega Knight in a deck that's frankly better, and I love Omnimon.
That's good for you.
Thanks.
I play the good DNA deck.
Yeah, you play the good DNA. I play the one.
And then one of Invincible Dragon Insect Fusion. I, during the Evo Cup, didn't see this once. It's still a one of. It's good.
No, I think you used that against me, didn't you? I remember you.
I did, but not to actually play anything.
No. You just kind of just played it.
Just to pass turn and spend memory. I used it. I didn't play anything, I don't think.
No.
Basically, you can play an XV1 or a Sting one for cheaper, because usually they'll cost about 4. This Sting one reduced for 3 anyway. And then you can DNA. So if you don't have the inheritables of the end of turn DNA, this is a way of doing it as well. To gain back the memory, it then gains the effect that it can't be deleted in battle, and gains blocker. The security effect is quite nice as well. You get to play a Vmon or Wormmon from your hand or trash, and then add this to your hand. But I would say you could mess around with the ratios of the options if you wanted to, but I think this one's too good. And it makes people play weirdly, because they're like, oh, I have to try and get around it somehow.
Have you considered, like, obviously because this never came up, just bumping this out and going to 4 of this?
No, I think 4's too many.
Fair.
4, I think 4 is too many. Because you only play, well, I only play 3 Dragon modes.
No, that's fair, yeah. That's fair, actually.
The playing more Dragon modes than this is a bit weird.
Yeah. I suppose if you manage to get to your 4th copy, it's not doing anything, is it?
No, yeah. So, but a lot of the time, I think 3 is enough. This, you could, I mean, you could change it. You could run 2 of this, or do whatever. You could cut one of the Tamers if you wanted to. You could cut that wonky BT17 Tamer to play another option. So you could cut him, play another option. Or you could put in another Davis. There's a lot you can do with this deck. It's pretty flexible.
It's a very versatile deck, which is what makes it so
I think
dangerous.
The core is 4 of your Davis and Ken. You need that. It's what's going to get you the advantage and makes the deck so fast and disgusting. Paladin mode, I've seen people play it at 1. I like it at 2, just so I can see it. I play against a lot of 7 Great Demon Lords. Everyone's playing that deck.
Yeah.
So,
Also, you've got to mention this actually came up in our game.
Oh, of course.
You won the game with this. Do you remember?
Yes.
That's so funny.
Josh was playing Venusmon Turbo, basically.
Pulsemon. I was playing Pulsemon.
Every turn he kept
Venusmon Turbo.
He kept giving me
Venusmon in it.
Sec -1. So that one weakness of the Paildramon is it gets no Sec +1. The only thing that gives me Sec +1 is my one of Fighter mode that can get Sec +1 when it's got lots of colours in its sources. So you can swing, but if you've got Sec-, you're not checking anything. So eventually, Josh stalled me out by playing so many Kazuchimons.
You gave them back to me, to be fair.
That I couldn't do anything. I then got to the point where I was about to deck out. I then read Paladin mode, which I hadn't actually read properly. I then digivolved into Paladin mode and put my trash back in my deck so that I wouldn't deck out. Which then caused Josh to...
convulse.
Yeah, to just concede, because the game had gone on for about 30 minutes of him not doing anything, just digivolving into Kazuchimon.
I got you a game 2, though.
You did get me in game 2. And then we ended up in a draw, because the first game took so long.
Yeah, but it was a really cool, like, it shows the versatility of this deck, because it can just do random tricks like that to stop itself from being able to, like, you know, deck out or, you know, give itself more memory. Because if your Paladin mode had been in there as well, it would have given you memory.
Yes.
So, in fact, maybe it was it?
No, I don't think it was.
No,
I think it was.
If it was, then you would have gained the 3 memory. But really, really cool deck. So thank you, Charles, for showing this Imperialdramon deck. Obviously, let us know in the comments below if you like this build or if there's any changes you think Charles should make. It's pretty dangerous as it is. It's probably one of the most disgustingly powerful decks going right now. I would say probably in the top 3 decks currently, and is exceptionally powerful. But you know, really hope you guys like this video. Like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next video. But until then, keep it digital.
Bye.
Keeping that in.